y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am the Divine One, and I'm bringing you yet another assortment. Child, the Arab, Muslims, and Palestinian group are out here looking real manic right now. Let's break it down, because the math just ain't mathing. Or is it math? I don't know at this point. First, y'all tried to manipulate Black people, specifically Black women, with online bullying tactic, demanding we prioritize your movement. You went so hard, so loud, and so messy that in the end, you ended up alienating everyone else. And for what? Then let's not forget, you sabotaged the Democratic ticket in key states like Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, and Pennsylvania through your Uncommitted National Movement. Does that ring a bell? Because a lot of y'all seem to have amnesia. Yes, and I said sabotage. You didn't just stay neutral, you actively disrupted the strategy. And now, after all that chaos, y'all are crying and pleading with the Biden administration to do something. At this point, is it the crack? Because I need answers. The entitlement is wild, and we're not falling for it. Not this time. Let's talk about accountability, because y'all played yourself. Let's start with a little history, because this pattern of using Black people for your movement isn't new, it's systemic. Anti-Blackness in Arab and Muslim communities has roots in colonial hierarchies that glorify whiteness and dehumanize Blackness. These dynamics didn't stay overseas. They followed immigrants to America, where proximity to whiteness became a survival strategy. The economic exploitation of Black neighborhoods by Palestinian and other Arab-owned businesses is a prime example. You profit from Black dollars, but reinvest nothing. You hire no one. Instead, you perpetuate anti-Black stereotypes claiming solidarity only when it suits you. Regarding your performative apologies and your misplaced outrage, you thought Black labor was guaranteed. You assumed Black women would march, organize, and sacrifice for your causes again. But this time, they've seen something differently. And by different, I mean those election results. And that's why they packed up and left the table. This time, Black women collectively have said they are standing down and standing by. Your last-minute apologies don't erase the fact that you told Black people collectively, and Black women specifically, to stay out of your struggle. And why did you do that? Oh, yeah, because all of your manipulation tactics on X wasn't working. All of your, oh, don't you care about the maimed and amputee arms of the babies that are dying in the street? When are you going to care? You certainly didn't care about the election results over here. Now you're shocked that Kamala Harris didn't win, and you're scrambling for Black support, just like folks did when Hillary Clinton lost in 2016. The problem is Black women have had enough. Black people collectively are prioritizing themselves. And let's not forget the selective allyship. Black women have marched for the Stop Asian Hate movement, for immigration reform, for LGBTQ rights and trans rights, and causes that had absolutely nothing to do with Black women in particular and Black people collectively. But where are the marches for Black women dying at childbirth at 3 times the rate higher than white women? Where's the outrage for Black women being murdered every 5.5 hours in this country? Nowhere. Exactly. They see it, they have internalized it, and they are done pretending it's anything other than what it is. Performative solidarity. Let's talk about your selective courage. I'm about to call out the hypocrisy. Let's talk about DJ Khaled for a moment. Here's a man with a platform the size of Texas and the influence to move mountains, but what has he done for his own people? Nothing. He's silent. Yet you turn your outrage toward Kamala, someone who isn't a part, as if she held the keys to the Israel-Palestine conflict. Meanwhile, Khaled is out here doing what? Recording TikToks? If he spent half as much energy marching as he does shouting and another one over beats that just don't make sense, maybe something would have changed. I find it fascinating that the Uncommitted National Movement made every attempt to disrupt the Democratic National Convention and rallies around the country, but made no such attempt to do the same at Donald Trump rallies. I wonder why. Oh, there it is. Because MAGA would have beat the watermelon right on out your ass. But you know, it's starting to become very clear as to why Iran, Iraq, Syria, AIPAC, Egypt, no other Muslim country is supporting the Palestinians. Then, in other things that just don't make absolutely no sense. When you protest Trump in your safe spaces like Chicago and Michigan after the election. And now you want to garner support, you want to be all online with your kumbaya request, and it is denied. It's that the Black community, we've set all our responses to auto decline. You're going to have to get somebody else to do it. Now let's break down why Trump wants so much support from your community. Trump garnered significant support from Arab and Muslim voters for 3 main reasons. The number one reason, money talks. Many pro-Muslim groups align with Trump for financial incentives. You got paid off. Let's call a thing a thing. Let's call it what it is. Y'all sold out just like Jill Stein. Jill Stein stayed in this election long enough for that check to clear because she wasn't trusting Trump as far as making payments on time, okay? And after that check cleared, after the election results, she disappeared like a fart in the wind. Yes, she did. Just like Muslim group for Trump. For some reason, they think they got a wink and a nod from Trump when the person they need to be worried about is Stephen Miller and his band of bandits coming to knock on some doors and get y'all up out of here too, because when they're talking about immigrants, they are including you as well. Even people with refugee status, you're included. The number 2 reason is the uncommitted vote. In battleground states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, your uncommitted vote shifted the outcome. You chose self-interest over solidarity. But the third and final thing was cultural conservatism. Former General Michael Flynn, during the 2024 election cycle, engaged with Muslim communities, notably participating in events that address conservative social values, including anti-woman and anti-gay sentiments. In Hamtramck, Michigan, a city with a significant Muslim population, Flynn attended a town hall meeting hosted by Mayor Amr Ghalib. The discussion focused on concerns about LGBTQ content in schools and broader conservative issues. The cultural conservatism is really based on homophobia and misogyny in these communities. That's what played a major role. You couldn't stomach Kamala's alignment with LGBTQ plus rights or women's rights or reproductive rights, so you turned your backs. This had nothing to do with Palestine. If Palestine and Israel wasn't an issue, this was going to be the issue for you. But let me tell you 2 things. First and foremost, the LGBTQ community, those folks aren't playing with y'all anymore. They've armed themselves, organized, and have always been organized and ready to defend themselves. So keep that in mind the next time you think you can other them into silence. The second thing you need to understand is that you are a marginalized group. You don't have the right, but have the audacity to think that you can marginalize other marginalized groups. I don't know what you're thinking collectively in the Arab communities in this country, but you too will be getting deported. The moment you step out and protest during a Trump administration, it's real safe for you to do it right now with old Joe Biden. That's why you did it the day after the election. You can't lie and say, well, we protest because of who he picked Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee didn't come out as a cabinet appointee until earlier this week. The election was held nearly 3 weeks ago, and y'all were out in those streets protesting 2 days after. I want you to try that on after January 18th, 2025. I promise you, you're going to see a brand new circumstance, a brand new reality that may involve your repatriation back to your country of origin. I do believe the Trump administration already has deals set up with Syria as well as Rwanda for housing undocumented people who have no country to go to. So just keep that in mind. May your anti-LGBTQ processes and your anti-woman processes comfort you in Rwanda. But I digress. Now I would love to turn my attention to the Uncommitted National Movement and their blame game, the irony. It's the irony for me. After sabotaging Democratic prospects in key battleground states, handing Trump a victory on a silver platter, the Uncommitted National Movement is now on CNN trying to rewrite history. Abbas Alawa, the co-founder of that movement, sat down to express deep concerns over the Biden administration's unwavering support for Israel's military actions in Gaza. Let me tell you, his energy in this interview was giving, we didn't think this through. Aliwa had the audacity to call out the administration for refusing to meet with Americans who have family members affected by the conflict, saying, if you're going to continue sending weapons aimed at our family members, say it to our face. He emphasized the need for an immediate ceasefire and re-evaluation of U.S. military aid to Israel. He urged fellow Democrats to pressure Vice President Harris to stop sending weapons if she ever becomes president. This was after the election, by the way. Bold words from someone whose movement actively worked against her election. That's why I'm asking, is it a crack at this point? Key highlights from the interview: he wants direct engagement, and that's all he's trying to get is access. He wants access just to be able to say he talked to the president of the United States. He wants a ceasefire. He has ceasefire demands. You're not in a position to demand anything right now. Let me be specific about the political betrayal Aliwa accused the Democratic Party of betraying its progressive base by aligning too closely with pro-Israel policies. First and foremost, let me correct that, because these progressives love to claim that they're the base of the party. No, Black women have been the base of the party. It's the only reason why that party, the Democratic Party, survived after the 70s, when all the white people were going over to the Republican Party. But let's not act brand new here. Their movement, the Uncommitted Movement, knew what it was doing when it threw its weight behind Trump's rhetoric instead of strategizing a long-term game plan with Democrats. That's why they're scrambling right now. And now they have a plea for the future. Child, it don't look like you guys are going to be having a future. It led Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. Aliwa warned the Democratic Party, or he's warning, that failing to address these concerns could damage its support among Arab and Muslim voters. Let's rewind and check who actually supported who. First and foremost, let me just say this. 2025 is going to be the year of deportations, and Arab and Muslim voters, you need to understand, you're on the menu too. Now, when it comes to the Latin community, I have mixed feelings about them, but I am certain about you. Y'all are getting up out of here. You can take your anti-Blackness and your homophobia and your anti-woman sentiments back to the country from which you came, because Mike Huckabee is trying to start the next religious war, the next crusades. And last I checked, you lost that crusade too. Okay, so I don't think you're going to fare well in the upcoming engagements with nuclear powers. So y'all need to go ahead and start packing up your little falafel machine and your little kebab machine. That's what you voted for. And you'll get no sympathy from me, but I digress. Let me continue on here. Breaking down who supported Palestine. I think this is key, because the way these pro-Muslim groups that supported Trump try to make it seem like the Democrats have never supported them. I'm going to give you a breakdown real quick, because we need receipts for all this talk about betrayal. Okay, it looks like the Muslim group, you betrayed the Democratic Party. Let's start with the Obama administration from 2009 to 2017. In 2010, the Obama administration allocated $400 million for economic development, infrastructure, and humanitarian aid in the West Bank of Gaza. In 2013, they contributed an additional $200 million to support the Palestinian Authority's budget and economic reform. So Barack Obama sent $600 million. Let's look at the first term of the Trump administration from 2017 to 2021. In 2018, he cut all funding to the United Nations Relief and Work Agency, UNRWA, that's $60 annually, completely gutting vital programs for Palestinian refugees. This the man y'all just supported, right? I guess y'all need to be singing "What a Friend We Have in Allah" right now. In 2019, look what else he did. He halted all U.S. aid projects in the West Bank and Gaza, cutting an additional $60 million. Barack Obama gave y'all $600 million, and Donald Trump, your new bestie, took $420 million back. He stopped it, halted it. Let's look at what the Biden administration did that you guys eviscerate so much, and he's a traitor, right? He betrayed the Palestinians. He betrayed the Muslims in America. The Biden administration from 2021 to present, in 2021, restored the $235 million in aid, including $150 million to UNRWA and $75 million for economic development. So he gave you more money. And in 2023, he announced $336 million in humanitarian assistance during escalation conflicts, bringing total U.S. aid to Palestinians to over $1 billion since October 2023. Talk about cutting off your nose to spite your face. Who betrayed who? So let me get this straight. The Obama and Biden administration pumped hundreds of millions of dollars into Palestinian aid, even amongst fierce opposition, but y'all still want to act like they've done nothing for your communities? Meanwhile, Trump gutted your funding, cut off critical lifeline, and you still threw your support in with him. Somebody grab a crystal ball, because we already know what Trump's second term means for Palestinian support. Absolutely nothing. Trump's playbook is clear. He will double down on military aid to Israel, further cut humanitarian assistance, and ramp up policies that isolate Palestine. His track record shows he's not here for you, And no amount of hand-wringing on CNN will change that. But hey, y'all made your bed. You got to lie in it. But here's my final thoughts on the Uncommitted National Movement. It isn't just uncommitted. It's short-sighted. By alienating Democrats and enabling Trump, they set their communities back. And now they want to point fingers and demand accountability. Spare me the bullshit. You sabotage your own alliances, and now you're panicking because the reality of a Trump second term is staring you in the face. But guess what? This is not our lesson to learn. Okay, Black people, say it with me. This is not our lesson to learn. While you're scrambling to clean up the mess you made, Black folks are over here focusing on us because we know better than to fight battles for people who wouldn't do the same for us. So good luck with all of that, navigating Trump's America. To be honest with you, once that man takes the oath of office on January 18th, you won't have to worry about Trump America because given his timetable, he'll probably be deporting you around 2026. Okay, but yeah, good luck with all of that. You're going to need it. The reckoning. Let me be crystal clear. Black people aren't coming to save you. We aren't coming to march for you. As soon as I start hearing people talking about, oh, the dead baby bodies, I'm blocking you. Okay, it's complete apathy over here. That's what you voted for. And remember, on Twitter, you guys are quite clear telling us to stay out your business and talking about that we're jealous of you and our communities are a mess. And we agree. And we're going to focus on our community. That shouldn't really be a problem for you at this point. We've seen how this game works. It's all love and solidarity when you need us. But when it's time to show up for Black issues like police brutality, voter suppression, you disappear. No more. Black women are going into hibernation. Black people, we're going into stasis for the next 4 years, investing in ourselves and leaving everyone else to their own fights and battles. We wish you the best of luck. For any Black folks still out there caping for other groups without reciprocity, we're calling you out. We're going to be working to get you demonetized. We're holding you accountable because the status quo, Black people coming to everybody's defense, and then everybody pointing fingers at us or making fun of our communities is no longer what happens next in Trump's America. Let me remind you, because it got to be the crack at this point if Muslim people forgot about the Muslim ban from his last term. But carry on. Trump isn't just posturing. His policies are coming for you. Mass deportations, militarized borders, and revocation of refugee statuses and birthright. You thought you were safe? Think again. Trump will be rounding those protesters up and sending them to their countries of origin or countries like Rwanda, where they have a monetary agreement to hold groups like yours. He's coming for your families, your communities, and your livelihoods. And Black people will be watching from the sidelines, baby. Like I said before, standing back and standing down, okay? We don't want to get in the way of what you voted for. The final thought is the priorities for Black people, the prioritization of us, okay? Black people, hear me loud and clear. It's time to focus on us. Let's build for ourselves, invest in ourselves, support ourselves. If other groups want solidarity, they need to show up first. And if they don't, well, good luck in Trump's America. We wish you well. We'll be over here thriving, surviving, and reclaiming what's ours. Well, it looks like our time is up. I thank you for making the time to go through it to the end with me. Like, share, and subscribe, please, and thank you.